Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. It's a little windy out here, so sorry if the volume isn't the best. And the wet spot right there is, I'm pretty sure I just had somebody throw a water or something at me while I was walking down the street, and I had my headphones on. I was fucking jamming pretty hard, and I had my bag, the green bag I carry, Johnny Appleseed style. So I think he hit the bag. That's why I didn't feel it. And then some of the liquid from the container, whatever it was, landed on my jacket and also on my bag, which holds, my notebook and other stuff like that. Because as I got over here, I noticed I had a wet spot on my back. I'm like, how the fuck did I get that? Because I have no idea why. I mean, I sometimes I get a little wet, but like I have a specific spot that's like damp. And I also have this right there, as you can see. And I just wrote this like not 2 hours ago, and it's not even raining outside. It's windy, but it's not raining. So anywho, that's where that came from. But I want to share this with you guys because this is I think a part of something that's going to need to happen in order for a vast majority of humanity to become to be successful in this little, whatever you want to fucking call it. But we have some serious things that are coming up in our near future here, and so I've felt this for a while, but we're getting even closer to a need for a mass exodus from these cities, and essentially people are not gonna be able to afford their rent. And this is all by design, in my opinion. And so, I've been sharing ideas for apartments, trailers, teepees, and then the next layer down from that is literally just campsites. So right here you have a square. I've chosen to use a square because a lot of times they sell plots of land. Not all the time, but a lot of times they're outlined in squares. You have a square acre. That's how they measure land here, is by how many square acres it has. Acres is roughly the size of a football field. And also with squares, at least for this type of a situation, you can equally distribute the land so that each space is relatively equal to the next one. So yeah, this is just just an estimate, but I was thinking about 13 by 13 foot square campsites, and then the little rail or the little lines right here you see are walkways for each campsite. And then off to the side here, it's kind of hard to see, but you'd have a toilet area that's dug out, just holes dug into the ground. That's how they do it a lot of times in Europe. It's much more efficient. And also at this whatever you want to call it, movement, location, project, exodus, new, kingdom of heaven, whatever it may be, we're gonna want to, like, I don't know if I want to make it mandatory, but eating organic is definitely going to be something it's perpetuated and encouraged, like, strongly. Because another problem with the soil is that human waste, because it's full of so much like bad crap. I mean, because like soil, essentially, like your poop is essentially supposed to, like animal poop does help fertilize the soil, which makes it richer. But because humans are so toxic these days and have so many chemicals and bad foods and sugars and all these artificial stuff inside of them, their waste is also very toxic. So this also hurts the soil. So if we're eating very organic, our waste, our soil, or whatever you want to call it, goal number 2, will actually help the soil out, enriching the soil instead of killing the soil. So this can be a good thing. Instead of flushing it down into the water, which is also killing more water that we have limited supply of, we could be putting that good soil, that good waste, back into the soil to help rejuvenate the soil or enrich already rich soil. So that's why I thought just having little dugouts over there, and you have little privacy enclosures around them so people have their privacy, and you have a hole, and you make it nice and convenient, because they're actually very relaxing. I've used them out, and my dad's got my dad's friends have property out down south, and it's very relaxing. So it's I prefer it actually than the convenient toilets personally. And then for washing and bathing and stuff like this, you can go to the rivers. Like I want this land to be at least in an access to an easy walk to some type of a fresh water supply, most likely a river or a lake or something like that. Maybe even a spring, or if you can get a well that's big enough and has enough water flow, maybe you can use that. But I mean, a river is very ideal. And then with the river, again, we're going to want to make sure that we're not putting any type of contaminants in the river. So we're not going to want to be using any type of like chemicals that have any type of like contaminants or poisons or heavy metals or anything like that that's going to put more toxins into the water and pollutants and chemicals. We don't want any of that. So it's gonna have to be organic soap. Your body's gonna have to be washed from all that chemical stuff and all that good stuff. But that will be the way that we bathe. It's just like we used to do. You fucking bring your bathing suit and you go down to the river, you do your thing, and you fucking bring your organic soap and just wash yourself in there. And no, going to the bathroom in the river. We gotta stop doing that shit too. All right, moving on here, and then so to continue on down, so and then work that can be done. So like, okay, this is assuming that we're getting access to a plot of land. You have the space for people to camp. But since they've left the cities, it's presumably that they've probably left their jobs as well, because the jobs aren't paying enough and they get laid off or whatever. I think they're going to do a massive layoff, which will just make things even worse for everybody, because most of these corporations that are in control here in America are not good corporations. So they're going to be in a league with a nefarious agenda, which is going to be to create chaos and then come in as the saviors and the New World Order and all that type of shit. So we can offer them good work until we get the automated system running, like I said, with cutting down the trees. I want to make that illegal, except for good expansion of humanity. So if this project, because it is seeded in good expansion, it's also why things like healthy foods, healthy ways of doing things, being in harmony with nature, these are essentials that need to be followed, these regulations that need to be met, are a part of the good expansion. So it's a process that needs to be followed. So with the good expansion, we would get the campsites, people could camp on there and they could do the good works, which is just cutting down trees and using these the resources from cutting down the trees to firewood, building shelters, building defensive lines around the campsites and other places that we need to defend. And then also, as far as regarding a militia is concerned, bows and arrows, spears, practice swords, shields. Also, like, I'm just gonna say this, and I want to say that I have a backup channel. It's Anwell Buddha, in case I get some type of a strike, because I'm going to be getting more into militaristic strategies and how to develop a militia and various tools and weapons and tactics you can use to be a successful militia. And I don't know how favorable YouTube is going to see that. So in case I get blocked or any type of shit like that happens, I have a backup channel. It's called Anwell, Anwell, and Buddha, just Buddha. The uppercase is the A and the B, and then it's two separate words. So, but anyways, explosive arrows. You can make explosive arrows. It's just putting together simple combustions. If you light it with a fuse or a fire, you have it designed in a way that when it impacts, it explodes one or the other. You can develop these explosive arrows, which are essentially like, kind of like rocket propelled grenades that are without any type of machine or other type of mechanics other than the bow and the arrow and the human being, and then of course the explosive tip. These are all things that you can even. It's possible that you could find the land that has the right type of soil, the minerals, materials to produce your own explosives on the land. Again, these are only for defensive purposes, military purposes, defending our country. We're in a state of potential war. Not to mention, we're dealing with a lot of corruption inside of our country. So in order to defend ourselves, in case we have nefarious people coming after us, it's imperative that we have the ability to do so. And I know that armored cars and, helicopters and things like this are an issue that a lot of these nefarious sources have access to. So it's in our good interest to defend ourselves and this country against foreign enemies and domestic enemies, to have the abilities to have things like bows and arrows, spears, guns, ammos, even explosives and explosive arrows potentially. Hopefully, we'll make as much of this as we can on our location. And this is all part of the good works that can be done, that can get paid for, or you can exchange it for training, or you can exchange it for rent or for food or for utilities, whatever it may be. All that depends on what you come here with. But I want to make it so that people can come here literally with nothing and have the access to do what they need to survive and also thrive. That's the main goal. And this is just the beginning, because once you get this going, and the automated system gets going, people are going to be able to make enough money to develop their own houses, get their own land, get their own thing going. Moving on here. So yeah, along with the bows and the arrows and all that stuff, firewood is another, cutting down the trees and harvesting the firewood, getting the gardens ready, getting the vertical farm growing system ready, just clearing out the land, leveling out the land. There's a lot of work that needs to get done to tend to the land, especially if we're going to buy land that's got a lot of natural resource on it. I mean, it's going to be very natural and wild, and the topography is not going to be even, so there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be doing in getting the land ready to be built on. One of the first things about building, I know, because I did a little bit of work on the construction site, is you want to have a level foundation. So leveling out the foundations, mastering that, learning from the experts, that's an essential task that we can put people to good work too. So yeah, and if people who, making the militia, if people want to join the militia, in doing so and choosing to serve, America, and also, this is a fight for overall good of humanity, I think it's fair to offer them some type of percentage decrease as to the amount they pay for their goods, because they are like how our troops are awarded certain benefits and they're actually paid to go and fight and train and all these type of things. We can offer similar types of benefits to those who choose to serve, and maybe for those who choose to serve on the front line, they get a little bit more than those who might choose just to be a cook or something. Now they each get benefits, but if you're putting your life on the line, that's a higher risk than being a cook, so it just makes sense you get paid a little bit more. So it is what it is. Now, if somebody's doesn't have the ability to go on the front lines, then that is something that needs to be considered. I want to make things as fair as possible. All right, I think that's good for now. I'm gonna make another video on another idea I have with Donald Trump. So I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.